Hello Reddit. Please excuse my anonymous username. I am a history professor at Sao Paulo State University in Brazil at the Franca campus. I teach a course on local history, and my students thought I should share a piece of my lecture with you. I have traveled South America extensively in my coursework, and a couple of years ago I came upon an artifact in a small coastal museum that fascinated me. It's a series of 15 letters written by a young boy of unknown age in the 1940s. The letters have been authenticated as much as they can be. For example, we have confirmed that they came from the time and area referenced by the museum, and that all of the letters were written by the same person. I asked the museum to let me borrow the letters and make a copy of them for my personal research. I found the subject so interesting that I also used the letters in my course for my classes to study and discuss. At the urging of some of my students, I have taken the time to translate them from Portuguese into English, and will post them on this board for you to read. The letters are not dated, but we have put them in the order we believe is closest to chronological. Each letter appears to correspond to one day, so that is how we have organized them. During translation, I have taken minor liberties with sentence structure and grammar for readability's sake, but I assure you that the content is unaltered. If anyone would like to see the scans of the actual letters, or prefers the text in its original language, please message me through this website. I have chosen not to summarize the letters for you because I like my students to experience them as I did and feel the full impact of their content. Day 1. Lonnie, you have probably figured out that I did not make it on the boat. I was only meters behind you, but I had a convulsion and fell down into the bay alley. When I awoke, everyone was gone. I fear I am alone. I don't know why the sirens sounded this morning, but they are still going. The sound is even scarier when I am the only person here to hear it. Since everyone is gone, I went home to Casa Reverent. There was no one left here either. All the other kids took their toys. I'm sorry, Lonnie. I wanted to make sure you got on the boat while there was still room. I will look after your things if I can. I took your books and notes and dolls to the roof. I am hoping that being up this high will save me from the tsunami. I have never heard these sirens before, and I don't even know where they are coming from, but I am sure they mean a tall wave is coming. I hope I will be okay. It's getting dark now, and the sirens are still going. They are hurting my brain. I am now sure it is a tsunami warning because all the birds are gone. Animals know danger. I have told you that before. I can't see the ocean as well as I could in the daylight, and I'm afraid the wave will take me by surprise in the middle of the night. I hope I am high enough that I will not be swept off of the roof. I wish I had been able to go to the highest building on the island, but when I walked up the hill, a dog ran out and bit my leg. All the dogs are scared to be left behind like me. I hope you don't mind that I am using your stationery. It makes me feel less alone, like I have someone to talk to. I'm going to go to sleep now. I hope I will get to write you another letter tomorrow and give them to you when you all return. I hope Davy is being nice to you. Marco. Day 2. Lonnie, I woke up in the middle of the night and the sirens were quiet. Now the sun is up and there is still no tsunami. Even now, I cannot see anything unnatural in the ocean's movements. If there was to be a tsunami, wouldn't I be able to see it now? Wouldn't the sky be dark? Wouldn't I see a dark band on the horizon? I do not know what is to come, but for now, I feel safe. Remember when you, Davy, and I would pass the men's house and dream of the inside? I would dream of how warm they are. You the rooms of toys, and Davy, of course, the food. I can tell you now that the air is beautiful as we imagined, They are large and sit warm on the hillside. I only wish that you and Davy were still with me to see it. Maybe soon everyone will see that it was safe and come back. If you do come back, maybe I can show you what it is like to live in the mensao, at least for a while. I would like that. Maybe if the owner doesn't come back, we will be allowed to keep it. I so wish for that to be true. I do not feel so alone now. Earlier, while bringing your things to our new home, I heard noises. I think a boat might have come back already, or maybe that others stayed like I did. I tried to call out to them, but no one called back. I saw their shadows, though. I decided to let it be and speak to them tomorrow. I wish to spend at least one night in the mensao. I will save this and write you another letter tomorrow when I find the others. Maybe even I will see you. Marco. Day 3. Lonnie, remember the dog we named Peek? I saw him today when I walked into town to steal some candy from the sweets store. He was eating another dog. There are lots of dead dogs in town. Their insides are on the outside, and their outsides are on the inside. I do not know who has done this, but it was too tempting for Peek, I think. I cannot blame him because I am hungry too. Last night I ate all I could from the cupboard of the mensao. It hurt my stomach and I vomited. Perhaps life is not so good for the rich. I have important news. There are others on the island. I know I should be happy, but I do not recognize them, and I think that there is something wrong with them. I have seen their shadows moving down the streets and walking on top of buildings. I can even hear them talking to each other, but they only whisper. I will not call out to them because I am afraid they are the ones who turned the dogs inside out. This afternoon, one of them walked by the mensao. I hid under a table because I was scared. My whole body was shaking and my lungs began to ache. My instincts tells me they are very dangerous, like an old foe. Tonight, I am returning to Casa Reverent because I know I will be safe there. I hope you return soon too. Marco. Day 4. Lonnie, I saw them today. I thought they were people, but they can't be. They must be something else. They are coming from the ocean itself. I spent the morning searching through the houses and shops for food, but much of it has gone bad. There is a stench in the air like rotten meat, and it turns my stomach. I thought about returning to the sweet store, but the thought made me ill. I am afraid that I might run into a pack of dogs if I search too far out of town for food, so I decided to fish instead. Remember when Father taught me how? I found a pole and went to the harbor. I stood on the docks and it wasn't long before there was a tug on the line. When I yanked, though, the line held fast, and when I pulled there was no fish. Instead, I thought I saw a hand holding tight to my line in the depths beneath the dock. I dropped the pole and ran. That is when I saw the others. There are so many of them. They look like people, like shadows of people, but they move sharply, like they are sick or uncomfortable. They were crawling right out of the ocean, pulling themselves along the sand by their hands. The water did not cling to them like it would to us. They did not leave marks on the beach either. I made it safely back to Casa Reverent, but I am scared. I have been praying that you and Davy return soon. If you were both here, everything would be all right. Please come back to the island. Marco. Day 5. Lonnie, I am so hungry today. Even the smell of rotting meat from the market makes my stomach cramp. I did not see or hear any shadow people all morning. I decided I must have dreamt it. Delusions have been known to strike those suffering from hunger, and I know people do not come from the ocean. I went back to the fishing shop to take another pole. There are so many dead animals outside, and most of them are dogs. All the animals are turned inside out like before. I hoped that the dead dogs were delusions too. You know I love dogs. I went back to the same pier, the white one next to Lopez. My pole from yesterday was still there. It was hanging off the edge. I went to retrieve it, and just off the dock below the water surface I saw a shape. It moved in the way things construed by water do, slowly and in strict beats. I stared at it until I realized that it was one of them, and that it was walking toward me, headed straight under the dock. I kicked the pole at it, and I ran away. Before I left, I saw 2 boats on the horizon. I hope someone is coming for me. Marco.